I want to discuss how people who have lost the most are actually the happiest with their lives. Let me explain. Those who have lost a lot are content with what they have. It's like the whole time you were living with a fully abled body or a fully abled mind, you were taking it for granted the entire time. I know I'm definitely taking things for granted, especially if you're fit, sporty, muscular, tall, any of those things. It's just given to you, sometimes by genetics and sometimes via hard work. But especially if you're just genetically gifted these good traits, you will just tend to think it's normal because you've known nothing else your whole life and you seem to cruise by on easy mode. However, for the people who, say, have Down syndrome, they're the happiest people on earth. And honestly, I envy that. A lot of us go through our life in pain because we know we're not doing enough or we're mediocre, and we know that we are taking our bodies for granted. Now, the same trend can be observed among more severely autistic people. Yes, it's obvious what their problems are and they may not have the chance to do certain life activities unassisted, but does it matter to them? No, because they are grateful for what they have and they love life. I don't know what it is, but the people that need to do the most in life and are the most aware of what they do, geniuses in fact, are afraid of their own existence. And not just that, but people often pity the less able people or more heavily autistic people and think that their life is worse. But really, the autistic person is so blissful, they're just happy with the life that they have. Honestly, we have so many things going well in our lives, including some people in my neighborhood who may have special needs, I know some, and they're really happy with their life because they have learnt to live, or they have known nothing but their way of living, which may be handicapped in some way. But what about the people who have sustained an injury that may prevent them from using body parts that they could have before? Say if they had an accident and lost the use of their legs. Well, I know an example of a person like this, and I've seen his Instagram, and he's lifting weights in the gym now, despite having an accident that paralyzed him. He was literally doing pec flies like this, that no one could have anticipated he would have gone that far. I believe he's so happy because the journey to becoming better, more abled, is what matters. Even for those who sustained an injury after living life a bit with a fully abled body, they seem to realize that there's a big journey ahead in which they can make drastic improvements to their life. But first, of course, you need to process the traumatic event. I've had certain traumatic events in my life. Some have taken months to overcome, where you're sat in your bed, consumed by your own thoughts, and it never seems to go away, but eventually it does. What people who have been held back by trauma or a disability have had time to do is reflect on their trauma, acknowledge it, and then let it go. That is the way to move on. Perfectly abled people are less likely to move on because their lives are so damn busy. They don't have a chance to sit down, work it out, and let the thoughts flow free. You can get so much better, but you choose to be busier. Let me just describe a random encounter I had on the street. I was late for my train and the station shut for some reason, so I wasn't able to go to where I was meant to meet my friends. I was so distraught. Here I am with all my privileges and everything, and all I can think of is the train I missed to see my friend. I was going to get a replacement bus, and then I saw this man, and he seemed like he had autism like me because the way he spoke to me, and I was like, yes, he's a brother just like me. He pointed out on my t-shirt I had a Nike tick, a Nike logo, and it said "Just Do It" underneath. And he said, "Oh wow, just do it is the greatest catchphrase, I love it." And that started a good 5-minute conversation about what he loves, what I love, and by talking to him, I became so much happier. I realized that there are people out here who are way more present than me and grateful for their lives and their situation, whereas I was here not acknowledging it at all. And it just so happens that the real miserable people are the ones who are fully able and don't have time to sit down and consider the great things they have in life, the amazing environments they have, and how powerful presence is in the current moment. Fully abled bullies, who obviously have big problems in their lives, will mock disabled people. Traditionally they did in school anyway, because they're jealous, not because the person's weak. They'll say, oh, the victim that they're bullying is weak and he deserves to be beaten up or something. But really, the weak person is so happy with their life because the victim is not struck by jealousy or anything. He's just out here to enjoy what he enjoys. Say a group of video game enthusiasts that like to sit together. They may get bothered by the bully, but they sit down and have a great time playing video games. They will be happier than the bully ever will be because the bully is jealous that he cannot be content with what he has. More autistic people can be put in the place of those victims, as generally many autistic people have experienced bullying for not being the same as the normal people who bully them. But really, the real winners are the autistic people. So to sum it up, the people who have lost the most make the most out of life. The people who have experienced homelessness, been amputated, been traumatized, it doesn't matter what their struggle is, or their disability, or their social difficulty, they are happier because they are content with what they have. Life is so much better when you can just be grateful and accept who you are. I hope that encouraged you to be better, and I hope that motivated you too. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.